Okay, so guys, NIO stock is doing very well. We ended the week at about $42. If you look at the 5-day chart, you can see we're up about 8.5%. The 1-month chart, you can see we're up about 35%. Hey everyone, welcome back to Underdog Investing. So today I want to talk about two things. The first one is a positive catalyst which could potentially bring the NIO stock to double the levels it is today. So that's a 2x return in the next few years, I think. So if you have a look now, we're at 50 billion market cap, $40. I think it can go to 100 billion and about $80 to $85 per share. And then the second thing I'm going to talk about is one of the things that I'm a little bit concerned about, and one of the things that I think is going to keep the stock price at a lower level for a little while in the near future. So if that's something you're interested in, stay tuned and be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for future updates if you haven't already. So let's start with the good news that I think is going to push this stock price up significantly. So this is the fact that NIO are expanding into Europe. So this is a Forbes article, it's quite interesting. So EV billionaire William Lee, his company NIO is speeding up plans to expand into Norway. So basically Norway is going to be the gateway for NIO to enter the European market. And there's a very specific reason why they chose Norway for this reason. So basically Norway is the first country in the world where EV sales have actually overtaken the sales of internal combustion engine sales. So it's actually 55% of their sales in 2020 were actually from EVs, which is very impressive if you compare that to the global ratio of EV versus non-EV. And this is according to the Norwegian Road Federation, so it's very accurate information. And why is this important? If you consider the fact that China's market is huge for EV, not many people realize how big the European market was. In fact, the European market was larger than the Chinese market in terms of EV sales just last year. So the reason for that is because there were plenty of subsidies dished out by the European governments in order to promote electric vehicles. What's even more exciting than the fact that NIO are going into Norway is the fact that they are expanding into Europe aggressively. So starting in 2022, so that's just next year, NIO will enter 5 more European countries. Now, they haven't actually listed the exact countries that they're going to move into, but this just shows how aggressive they are when it comes to expansion. And this is why I think this catalyst could push NIO to double the levels it is at today, simply because of the fact that currently we're only in the Chinese market, and you can see that our market cap is 50 billion. If you imagine we enter the European market, which is larger than the Chinese market based on last year's sales, you can see why the stock price could double, why the market cap could double. Now, let's move on to something that I'm slightly concerned about when it comes to electric vehicles, not just electric vehicles, but a lot of tech stocks in general. So it's the fact that we've got this global chip shortage. Nothing is spared. If you have a look at Apple was seemingly holding against the shortage until recently, where supply constraints hit. Basically, they think that supply constraints will hit the third quarter, and revenue will be hit by about $3 to $4 billion, which is quite significant. So if Apple's not being spared, then why is NIO going to be spared? They're unlikely to be spared of this chip shortage problem. So automakers are losing a lot of money. The automotive industry has been hit the hardest, and it's not surprising to see why. Semiconductors were already widely used in all cars for navigation, safety, infotainment, and that kind of thing. But if you imagine the demand is going to be increased due to the fact that we've got electric vehicles as well as autonomy. So autonomy, we use a lot of semiconductors. So that's why the electric vehicle market is going to be hit quite tough. That explains why shares of electric vehicle maker NIO has dropped by double digits in recent months. NIO also halted production temporarily in March, where it reported a 5.5% sequential drop in May deliveries. So we're already seeing an impact of the global chip shortage, and people are expecting this to potentially last for a few years. So that would tell us that the stock price could be depressed for the next few years, potentially due to this supply constraint. So just to summarize, we've got an amazing catalyst coming up. The fact that NIO are entering the European market, which is at the moment larger than the Chinese market, which gives me a rough indication that the stock could potentially double from these levels. But at the same time, we've got this global chip shortage, which could potentially severely affect NIO's ability to supply enough vehicles. And if you can't sell enough vehicles, then you are not going to make enough money. If you're not making money and revenue, then that we know what's going to happen to the stock price. It's going to go down. But anyway, that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for future updates. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think NIO price is going to double? And what do you think about the chip shortage, and how is it going to affect the NIO stock price? And if you found it useful in any way, share this with your friends. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.